Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel, where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to Do It Yourself Budget Hot Rodding. Project Spirit is home. She is home. For how long? Well, actually, this is going to be it for a little while for Spirit. She doesn't need to see a shop anytime here in the near future. So we are good to go. The picture does not lie. She is home. Drove her home from the shop today, and I'll clue you all in as people start to begin to file in. I know a lot of people have been wondering how Spirit's doing. She is home. She is home. We'll talk about that this stream. We might even go out, hit the key, listen to her run. She sounds a little bit different with the with the automatic. It sounds a little bit different. What's going on, Raven? Good to see you, buddy. Um, she sounds a whole lot different compared to what she used to. I know a lot of you all have been wondering how she's been doing. She runs. I mean, she's running good. There's pros and cons about the automatic. I knew what you meant, Raven. It's all good. So there's pros and cons right now about the automatic. Um, but I will say right now that overall the swap, despite the hiccups, I'm very happy with the swap. Well, Princess Faye's lying down right now. She worked last night. No, I'm sorry. Last night was her night off, and very typical. She just could not sleep. So she's lying down right now. She's asleep. Spirit's running decent. I mean she's running pretty much as she should. Her engine's solid as a rock. We're gonna go out here in a little bit. I'm gonna hit the key and show you guys the new setup. But I will also say that I'm going to even talk about driving that automatic and how it felt for the first time driving her as an automatic and just different things like that. Basically going from a stick to an automatic. I will say right now, after having her as a stick shift for 5 years and then all of a sudden changing her over to an automatic, I keep wanting to go for a clutch. I keep wanting to push in a clutch pedal and if you go to do it quick enough, it the impact of your leg hitting that steel floor, it'll wake you up. It's a shock that I'll tell you right now, it stings a little bit because I'm used to doing that. There's no clutch pedal there. Well, there is still, and I'll explain all of that here in a little bit. Um, so she's running solid as a rock. As far as the engine goes, transmission shifting pretty decent. I know tomorrow I'm gonna have to start her up, let her warm up a little bit, maybe take her around the block a couple of times, and then pull her back in and check her transmission fluid. That's definitely something that I have to do, which is going to be weird because I've never had to check her transmission fluid. I've always checked gear oil, not transmission fluid. That's always seemed a little weird to me. If you change it one way or the other and you get used to it. So here I'm going to be having to keep an eye on her transmission fluid. She's not had transmission fluid until now. So this is brand new. This is brand new. And me, I'm doing okay. I was really excited about going to pick up Spirit today, so I was really happy about that. Came home, lied down for a little while because work was just work and it wore on me a little bit. But other than that, I'm in good humor. I mean, I can't complain. Um, so pretty much this stream, we're gonna go out, we're gonna listen to Spirit, and show you guys, how it looks in there. It's a little weird not seeing a stick shift on the floor and seeing an automatic in its place, an automatic shift selector in its place. That seems a little weird to me. Other than that, I can't complain. I mean, it feels nice. It's just a weird, going from automatic to stick. So that's that. If there was anything that seemed weird today, that would be it. out of place. Um, but that's pretty much it. I mean, we're in good shape. But I mainly wanted to go live today, basically show off the new setup. It looks good in there. They did an amazing job getting her all lined out. And then kind of talk about where we go from here. Because for those that do not know, the Prince Magnum channel is on the verge of monetization. We are very close. It's like so ridiculously close. As a matter of fact, the eclipse actually turned back the clock a little bit, turned it back a good ways. Went back to one of my old videos. I'm like, oh my God, that was like where I announced that there was the Prince Magnum channel. Hey, thanks so much, Kevin. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. So that's kind of, the members of the Eclipse kind of turned back that clock. I'm like, oh my God. They did like a throwback Thursday, and I'm like, that's an old video. I didn't even have an editing program yet installed into my computer. And here I've got it now, and it just seems really, it was a big throwback in time. It was kind of neat. Um, it was a big throwback. So it was really cool to see that, see the clock. You feel a little bit better tonight? Good, good. I was wondering about that. So yeah, they really turned back the clock because that video is like 6 years old. I'm like, oh my gosh. Um, which that's really neat. Um, so yeah, the big news is Spirit is home. The picture does not lie. That was just taken just before for the stream, specifically. What's going on, Chairman? Good to see you, buddy. So yeah, Project Spirit's home. She is running good. We will go out and we will listen to her. I know a lot of you were really excited to hear that news. Um, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. Hang on here. I think I forgot to tell them I'm live. There we go. Forgot to, yeah, no, no, that's not it. Ah, hang on here. Shit. Sorry about that, folks. Having malfunctions in the junction. Sure. Forgot to tell them that I was live. There we go. Derp derp. Derp derp. There we go. Hey, Joanna. Good to see you. Don't use my real name in the chat, fool. But I do appreciate that. Good to see you. Um, so yeah, we will go out. We will listen to Spirit and tell the kids I said hi too. I don't know if I just said that or not. I get hit in the head a lot. Um, but no, Spirit is running solid as solid can be, and I will say it is night and day between between the automatic and the manual. It is a big, 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 big difference. One of my first complaints about going from I and I like my real name too, but the problem is that um, thank you so much, Ray. Well, you're gonna miss you have to watch playback, when you go to hear Spirit Run, but it's all good. Um, yeah, go kick some butt for me. I know you're gonna crank up a video game of sorts. For the purposes of the Prince Magnum channel, I go by Prince Magnum. Y'all can I know all of you call me Prince, but you can call me Magnum, Mags. I know some people call me Mags every once in a while. Kind of nice change of pace. All right, awesome. So let me kind of run you all through the bases. The reason why I don't use my real name is for the purposes of Alcoholics Anonymous. With Alcoholics Anonymous, I don't use my real name because we're supposed to remain anonymous at the level of press, radio, and film, and now the internet. Because of that, I won't use my real name here on the channel. Now, when the camera turns off, yeah, call me by my real name all day long. But the other reason also that I don't do that, and if you go all the way back to one of my original videos, I have a beef with our government, and I don't want to, kind of add into it, more or less. Let's not give them a target. I mean, I paint a big enough target on myself. I don't need to be painting the target bigger, you know, um, because being Native American and speaking out against our government. So that's the reason why. These vapes do not. Right, Kevin. So that's kind of how that works. So basically for today, I know, Kevin, it's all good. Um, so basically for today, I'm going to kind of talk about, basically talk about spirit, and then we're going to start talking about Project Lena, basically because she's next up to start having some serious mechanical issues dealt with. Big D. Well, that could be taken a couple different ways there, Chairman. Right, right. So that's kind of where we stand right now. So let's briefly run over the bases. I will tell you right now, as far as the automatic goes, I mean, it does what it's supposed to. It takes you down the road. It shifts. It does its job. But as far as how it lays down the performance that we have added to that six cylinder, if you ever wanted to see how pathetic an engine can be, put an automatic behind it. Really, really. I'm going to actually have to sink another $400 to $500 into that transmission just to make it as good as what the manual was. I'm not impressed. I know Ford made good automatics, but this is an absolute joke. Basically going from the power that she had with the stick shift behind her, because the power was just crisp, responsive. She acts like she's dragging, like 6,000 pounds behind her. She has no ass compared to what she did before. So I'm not impressed. Basically, it's kind of like I don't care what anybody says. Manual is still the way to go when it comes to performance. Um, but as far as driving her every day, yeah, she'll be fine for that. In order for me to get back that crispness, that level that she was supposed to be. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. So in order for her to be top of the line, to really be able to do what she does and does best, I'm gonna have to go in and have a shift improvement kit put in there. That's what I said. Um, it's just not where it should be. Um, the performance is just not there, and I'm not happy about that. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of that also has to do with the fact that, I mean, it's a stock rebuild. I know it was a joke, guys. You guys are awesome. The basically in a nutshell, I'm just not going to be happy with the performance until I get that good solid shift that she's supposed to have. And I'll even tell y'all right now, Project Lena would even be better as a stick shift. After I've known how to drive stick for years, and after having getting to enjoy, I should say, a car that is stick shift, it's just a thousand times. I'd rather have the stick shift, but I had to give it up. It was just getting so hard to get the parts, and it just wasn't working as far as getting parts for it. Because every time you turn around, if something broke on it, I mean, I spent somewhere right around 3 4 months looking for one part for that old 3 speed. Right, right. I understand, Chairman. Um, I just after dealing with that, I won't. I won't do another automatic unless I know it already has a shift improvement kit in it. I will never do another automatic because I'm not impressed. We had Project Vera, and I mean she was okay. Again, we're back to, you know, right? You guys are behave yourselves. So that's been, basically as far as that goes. I was telling Princess Faye, I said, I'm just not happy with the level of performance. I said, it's almost like we cut her teeth out. And, um, she's like, well, she's supposed to be a daily driver, not, a ground stomper. I said, well, I said, yeah, but I like to have that little extra oomph there. So as far as that goes, we're just going to have to add that performance back in ourselves. And the only way to really, really get the performance back is a shift improvement kit. Um, hey, what's going on, Ron? But here just shortly, we're going to go outside. We're going to fire up Spirit so you guys can see it. I mean, there are pros to this. I don't have to push in a clutch just to start her. And that oftentimes became a serious problem when we would go somewhere. I couldn't just stop somewhere and because the emergency brake cable has been stretched and it snapped years ago and had been removed. So that's been a big problem. So if I went somewhere, I had to be able to park her, and so it made it hard in that regard. I don't have to worry about that now. So that is an upside. Anyhow, I'm gonna have a cigarette because I'm tired of fighting with the vapes. Every 5 seconds, they can't hold a charge. So much for quitting smoking. Right. Well, see, this one had been rebuilt. The transmission had been rebuilt, and it it worked, but it didn't work. It was one of those deals. It. I mean, it does the job. It does what it's supposed to. It it does exactly what it's supposed to. It it you know right. Um, um, so as far as I mean, and she runs good. I mean, she runs good. And I could drive her just like anything else. But I will tell you all right now that as far as like when I run, the thing of it is when I go to romp on the gas, when I romp on that gas, I want that car to suck me back in the seat. I want it to make me feel like I'm, you know, um, just like, I want that power to be there. Well, going through, that, very stout inline six, um, now being hooked to that automatic, it was literally like we just cut her fangs. She just has no punch whatsoever compared to what she was. Um, it once she gets going, it's kind of there, but then it's not. It's just not where it should be. And basically, the stick shift was 1,000 times better for getting performance down. What's going on, Queen? Good to see you. Um, so the performance is just not there as far as the automatic goes. I am not happy with that. I like that extra punch being there, and you guys got to remember that inline six has got a lot of torque. That six cylinder is better suited for a pickup truck. Um, to give you an idea, Ford always, back in the day with their six cylinders, they bragged on how strong their six cylinders were. They love to brag about it because none of the other car companies could even compete with the strength of Ford six cylinder. The closest you could get was Mopar's maybe their slant six or Chevrolet's inline six, but they didn't even hold a candle to the strength that Ford inline six had. I mean, they were just so strong. I mean, let me put it more like this. Um, Ford would brag about the strength of their six cylinders to the point where they were putting them in, say, like snow plows, tractors, skidders. And I don't know if you don't know what a skidder is, basically it's kind of like an industrial machine designed to go over some very heavy terrain. And you can pretty well hook whatever you need to it. Basically, if you want to hook a blade to it and maybe haul something behind it, their six cylinders would do it. And then they were putting these in pickup trucks and they'd hook, hey, what's going on, Grave Taker? Good to see you, buddy. So these things were that solid. These six cylinders were that solid. And what you could do with the pickup truck, if you had one with what they called the four speed with the granny low, and basically the granny low was the first gear was just extremely low geared. Real quick, for those that don't know, when you hear in car terminology low gear, basically the number is a higher number, but that basically refers to the amount of teeth on the gear. And the more teeth, the higher the number is, meaning that it can pull harder, lower gear. And you need those extra teeth when you get started with a vehicle to kind of get it moving. And with a rear end, the lower gears pull harder. The higher gears have a higher top speed in the rear end, or for, basically where the power goes to. So with a car like Project Spirit, she has a 3-to-1 gear ratio in the rear end. So there's like for every one tooth on the ring and pinion, there's three kind of grabbing on, if you will. And it's just kind of how it works. So basically she's set up for the highway, has a great top speed, which is going to be neat. But on the other hand, the with what they call the granny low, basically you would put it in the first gear, which is an extremely low gear for your Ford pickups from back in the day. And you could literally put it on a hill like this with even a good load behind it. And you would just give it a little bit of gas to get it started, and it would just crawl up a hill like this. And that was the Ford six cylinder with a four-speed manual with the granny low first gear. And you could just literally pull a hill like that. So imagine, if you will, something like that in a car. I mean, you could literally just tear up the drag strip with a setup like that. So, and which guys did back in the day. They really did. They loved it. Matter of fact, the same setup that we had before we went over to the automatic in Spirit, I used it to pull another car. I just hooked a chain to it and just pulled another vehicle like it was like Spirit was a truck. And it was so funny because they're like, there's no way you're gonna watch. She'll do it. I know she will. So Spirit's been a workhorse too. Okay, Chairman, you go rest up, buddy. But I got my shoes on. We're getting ready. I got to go grab my jacket. We're going to go out. We're going to hit the key. You guys can listen to Spirit run for a little bit. And I'm going to show off the brand new setup. You guys will see the new automatic shifter, and you can all tell me what you think. Um, I think you'll like it. I mean, it does look good. For the purposes of show, it does look good. Um, I was really happy with how it turned out. The guys over at Torque Diesel and Auto did an amazing job, and she does run good. We did figure out what was causing the smoldering under the dash. She had a little bit of puffing, a little bit of smoke. A couple times I thought she was on fire, but she wasn't. What it boiled down to was there's this stupid little sensor that connects into basically my brake system. and it literally it's one of the original sensors, if you will. And what it did was is it told you when your brake fluid was low. That's all it did. And it would put a little light on the dash. Oh God, yes. I was very happy. So that's what it was. And that little piece was actually shorting out. So the head mechanic Rodney at Torque Diesel and Auto disconnected it. No more problems. That was it. That was all that was wrong with the old girl. I thought the original heater in there, the heater motor or blower motor that blew out my heat, I thought it quit. I thought had burned up. Nope, the original one's still working 46 years later. I'll let y'all take that in for a moment. Okay, now that I've let y'all take that in for a moment, basically the original heater still works. We've still never replaced anything on it. I would kill for a vape that doesn't quit so frickin' easy. Oh, sorry, Queen, I'm gonna have to have a cigarette because this ain't working. I'm trying, but damn it, if the vape isn't gonna do its job, how am I supposed to do mine? By quitting. Okay. Absolute garbage they sell you nowadays. Quits within a couple of months anymore. But anyhow, I'm scared of the dark. Somebody hold me. So let me grab my jackets. We'll go out. We'll hit the key. You can all hear a run, and then I'll let you all see the new shifter. Actually, we'll do that in order. Gassed her up, brought her home, and she's been home all day. I haven't been able to take her out because we got to get the tags renewed again. Which once Princess Faye gets paid tomorrow, I'll go over and start taking care of all that stuff. It'll take me about a minute. All right. I'm still scared of the dark. Somebody hold me. Ah. All right, let's go on down. It has been getting ridiculously cold these days. Oh, hang on. Ta-da! Told you she was home. That's funny. Yeah. She's home. Yeah, that's funny because I remember I said I would never build a Ford, and here I am now building a Ford. You know what they say, never say never. I've had good luck with her though. Until she breaks down and it's next to impossible to get those parts. So if you're still with us, you get to hear sounds of the 70s. Here, real quick. There's the new automatic selector, straight out of a 1965 Ford Mustang. I don't have to push in a clutch anymore. That pedal is not there. So we'll fire her up. You all hear her run. Okay, best I could show you all. All right, for those who are not familiar with the new setup, key goes in here. Turn it to the on position, unlocks the steering wheel, but this no longer starts the car. Down here though, you turn this to the on position, turn that off. Then you reach over here. All righty, here we go. Sounds of the 70s. Got all sorts of stuff fixed out of her. Guys ready? Watch this. Oh, the most annoying sound in the world. Okay? What is it? This. There it is. The most annoying sound in the world. So she's home. She looks a lot different. She's had a lot changed on her. We've changed a great deal on the old girl. Let's run through the bases. She even sounds different. It's a totally different car compared to what she was, say, 5 years ago. We just did, probably, a couple weeks ago, guys? Somebody help me out here. A couple weeks ago, we did a video called Happy Birthday Project Spirit. Project Spirit turned a grand total of 46 years old this November. We released the video a little early. And basically in that video, we went all the way back to the beginning. And yeah, yeah, you haven't seen her in about that long. So let's run through the bases. Project Spirit is now a grand total of 46 years old. We've had her since she was 41. She's, since we've had her, we have done the following things. Number one, she no longer has front drum brakes. She has disc brakes for the 70 to 73 Mustang. Her exhaust has been slightly customized, but it's still semi-factory. The engine, we've replaced all sorts of goofy stuff on it. Let's see. We just changed her over to an automatic. She's got the pinstriping on her. We blacked out the taillight panel. Opened up the air filter. Done a few other little things like that. I can't think of it all right now. but she's doing all right. I mean, still solid as a rock. Hey, what's going on, Sean? Can anyone see you? Yeah, I could see you. Did you say something earlier? Did I miss it? Did I miss it? I don't think I did. No, I don't know. I don't know. But Spirit does, I mean, she runs good. I will just say right now, as it stands, I'm not a big fan of how the automatic really makes her perform. Which this does put things on hold for a couple of things, but for the most part, um, like I said, we released a couple of videos earlier last month. One, her last real go as a manually, a manual powered car, and then and then the last one that we did was where Spirit, now was just, going all the way back 5 years. Now we're, brought her up to July of this year. So it's been, been interesting with Spirit. Oh, we added the ignition panel because the key, now you have to have two keys to start her. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. So let me show you guys real quick how that works. Where the original ignition is, which I was trying to show you, I don't know if you guys can see it all that well. The original key unlocks the steering wheel, and that's where you still get that, that annoying ass sound that them old cars had to let you know that the ignition is hot. Well, then you still have to use another key, this one here, to put into the ignition. You turn that, basically where the radio used to be, you put the key there, turn it to the on position. Then next to it is a button. You push that button, she fires right up, no questions asked. This was my design, and basically it's designed to make it very difficult to steal her. It doesn't mean that if a person's determined, they can, but more than likely they'll burn up the starter before they actually get her actually started to steal her. Um, I am sad. I will say it again. I am sad to see the old stick shift go, but I also know that it had to happen. There's a lot of things that are now taking into that are coming into play. Number one, um, Project Lena needs to start seeing some shop time. We fixed. Yes, yes. Well, that wasn't exactly a transmission job per se. That was where we were changing it from the three on the tree to the three-speed manual on the floor, which we still have that shifter, but now that um, we won't be using that anymore. Actually, my son Devin has asked me to set that aside, that whole setup aside for him. He wants it. He wants to build something like Spirit. I said, well, we'll see if we can find an old Maverick or a Mercury Comet, which is just Mercury's, Maverick, more or less. So him and I talked about that. I said, I'll set it aside if you really want it. I said, but we're going to end up having to spend some money because that old clutch system is pretty well toast. It'll have to go over to a hydraulic for him. And let's see, we the the kids' dad, old T-Bone, him, one of the last major jobs that we did was the front disc brake conversion. And that took a few days, and she stops on a dime now. But you could definitely really feel those manual brakes with that, with that automatic. You really have to push down a whole lot harder than you used to. Um, do I mind that? No, I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. You just got to push down a little harder. You can't be a weakling about it. Would power brakes be better? Yeah, depends on how you look at it. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, what is it? How does power brakes work? You've got this big drum behind the master cylinder, and when you push down, Basically, that big drum is sucking in vacuum, and when you push down on the brake pedal, it releases that vacuum and makes it easier to push down on the brakes. So do you really need it? Not really. But do most people think they do? Yes, they do. They think that you have to have it. And honestly, if you just push down really hard, you don't need it. You could literally save about 40 pounds on your vehicle. And if I remember my numbers correctly, on the drag strip, if you can drop 100 pounds off of your car, that's about a tenth of a second off of your quarter mile for those that like to drag race. Now that I've said that, where does that fit into everyday drivers? By shaving that weight, it makes it easier for your car to go down the road, meaning it doesn't take as much gas to propel it. So by having a simpler system, just meaning that I have to push down harder and not be, not be, like everybody else. In essence, that makes it, that improves my gas mileage a little bit. The irony of that. Sean, you're awfully quiet. Are you just taking this all in? I know better than that. You usually got all sorts of stuff to say about good old Spirit. I'm really getting sick of the vapes. They're just, every time you turn around, I'm having to charge them. This is ridiculous. Sorry, Queen. I can't do it. I've got to have a cigarette. Queen Bee, she gets on to me. She wants me to quit smoking, but it's like, yeah, I want to quit smoking too, but I'm having a hard time because the vapes are just not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So we picked up Spirit today. As I started to mention, Project Lena needs a lot of work. We have a catalytic converter that has to be replaced. That dang thing is just a nightmare. Project Lena, you'll pull in somewhere, and I mean, she doesn't run right. I've had the scan tool on her several times, and it will not throw a code. It won't tell you anything. So it's past where the sensors are, which would mean that it's more than likely the catalytic converter at that point because there's no sensors on that for the year that Project Lena is. There's no sensors to tell you anything other than it's telling you there should be a code, but I don't have one for this. So that is an issue. Along with that, again, we're going to have she needs brakes all the way around. She needs brand new brakes, basically new pads, new rotors. We're probably going to have to replace CVC joints up front. Along with that, I honestly think that she needs her transmission serviced. It's high time. We've had her for a couple of years. She needs her transmission serviced. By the way, once a year, Project Spirit needs to get to go in and have her transmission serviced now. She has to go into a shop and have to have her pan dropped, all the fluid drained, new filter, put everything back together, filled back up with fluid. That's a once a year thing. And at the worst case scenario, it has to be every other year. If you don't take care of your automatic, it will blow up on you. It will quit working, I promise you. It's just the way it is. Do you know how many people don't do that? Quite a few. I actually had an aunt. She's like, "Oh, my Ford Focus quit running. The transmission went out on us." Well, when was the last time you had the transmission fluid and filter changed? Never. And how long you had the car? 6 years. I said, "Well, that's about right." She's like, "I didn't know you had to do that." I said, "How long have you been driving?" I looked right at my aunt and said, "How long have you been driving?" I said, "You should know this if you have an automatic." I said, Grandpa worked for Chrysler for how many years? And I know he told you that. I know he told you that. You have to maintain these vehicles. You don't maintain them, they blow up. So automatics you have to service regularly. Project Lena is definitely due. Which if I can square away the money, that car's going in the shop to have her transmission reworked because I really don't like the way it shifts either. Piece of shit. Anyhow, Let's go have a cigarette before I snap. I'm sick and tired of, stuff that doesn't work. I'm beginning to think my chat is just not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Um, let's see. So yeah, Spirit is back. So Lena is going to start seeing her shop time. Brakes, basically brakes all the way around, rotors, CVC joints, transmission. Her freaking window that we fixed earlier this year, twice, the same window. And I'm getting sick of that. This definitely shows that GM has really fallen an awful lot. Joanna, you remember the days when General Motors, Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, Pontiac made damn good vehicles. They're not worth a crap now. I'm telling you right now, they don't make vehicles anymore. They definitely don't make them like they used to. It's garbage compared to what it used to be. Yeah, I said it. They haven't, they stopped building, they really actually stopped building them in 2006. They really haven't built anything since then. I mean, it looks like they built something, but no. Hi, honey. So, um, and for the record, I know there are some people that swear by that L. Right, right. Um, so that is the honest to goodness. Give me the old days. Give me the days when Chevrolet used to actually build vehicles. They don't anymore. They haven't for a long time. Um, that's just kind of how it is. And I know some people can get upset about that. It's like, oh, Chevy, LS engines. Trust me, those LS engines are nowhere near what the old turbo fire small block V8s were. I can tell you that. Which Joanna actually remembers watching me actually tune one in, set the timing on it by ear. No timing light. She watched me do that. That's a thing in the past. My God, that's a thing in the past. They don't. You can't do that anymore. You know, that's a lost art form. Oh shoot! I left on Spirit's lights. We got to go back down to Spirit. Left her dome light on. Boy, that'd suck. Have to jump start her. And Project Lena can't do shit. So I'm scared of the dark. Somebody hold me. Um, but I'll tell y'all right now, Project Lena needs a lot of work. Right? I can see you, Sean. I can see you. What are you putting in the chat that's not showing up? Yeah, I can see you. Hmm. Ta-da. I can see you just fine. Double check here. Huh. Yeah, I can see the old square body Chevy trucks. Yeah, I remember those. I remember those. One of the best ones I ever seen. My dad had a 76 Chevy four-wheel drive truck, one of the best ones you could ever ask for. Come find out, to this day, Chevrolet swears up and down that that is still one of the best years they ever had for their truck, and they don't even know what they did. They couldn't tell you. They haven't a clue. They have no idea what they did to make their trucks that good, and they have not been able to duplicate it since. Oh no. Sean, keep us posted, buddy. You keep us posted on how your grandpa's doing. And I'll be definitely praying for you guys. I'm sorry, but you keep us posted, buddy. Yeah, keep us posted. So hmm, it's good to have Spirit home. We'll get some video footage. We'll get some video footage of Spirit going around the block and y'all seeing, basically seeing what's going on there and how she's running. I mean, you heard her run, but going down the road is where it's going to be at. But Monday, she gets to go over to the shop, uh, tags and all that good stuff. So that's definitely on the plate. But again, after Spirit gets her tags and her plates all squared away, it'll be back to driving her regularly. And even Princess Faye will get to enjoy driving her a little bit. But she doesn't work too far from home now. It's just literally a hop, skip, and a jump uh, to her night shift job. And I know she's enjoying it. Later, Sean. Big love to you. Um, you know, so yeah, everyone loves old Project Spirit. That's my baby. I've had that car now 5 years. And currently, right now, I'm working on a video where Project Spirit has. Y'all remember the video where I went and picked up Princess Bay when she had the little incident with Project Lena? Well, currently, right now, I'm also working on a video. Most of y'all may not remember. There's a video where I had to go rescue my boss during a snowstorm in Project Spirit. That was interesting. Later on, it was probably like a year later, we were talking about it at, when I was working at the Fredericktown location, we were talking about it. She's like, you know what? After having an accident like that, hearing that old car putter over that hill, she's like, if that was a sight for sore eyes, let me tell you, hearing that old car just putter over the hill, it was awesome. I was really glad to see that old car. And she said, there's a part of me that just loves that car, because snowy weather and everything, it just kept on coming. And I said, yep. She said, weren't you having problems with it? I said, yeah, first gear was going out in the transmission. She's like, oh my God, you didn't have first gear? I said, nope. If you remember, I kept putting it in second gear and having to take off real slow. Like, she's like, I remember that now. She's like, my God, you had to start her off in second gear. I said, yeah. And she's like, and that car was still went in the snowy weather. I said, yep. She's like, well, that just goes to show them old cars got it where it counts. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Uh, driving her as a stick for a long time. Now, like I said, Project Lena, we got to get the bugs squared away. Now, I will tell you all. Oh, wow. My goodness. Yeah, that's been a while back. I think somewhere yeah, I think I have a video of that up somewhere. I don't remember where. But yeah, I remember that taking her over there to, yeah, it was a car meet. They don't meet over there anymore right now. They don't meet over there, but um, I'm hoping that this next year we can start getting her to car shows again. For those that don't know, Project Spirit's a 5-time trophy car winner. I know there's cars out there that got a million more trophies than her, but considering her shape, oh yeah, that's still pretty damn good. We'll take that, you know. You go to a car show with that car, and immediately, this is the things that you're going to deal with. Most people will kind of look over her at first because they want to see all the pretty ones, that are in much, that are done up a lot nicer. But then when they get tired of looking at those, they'll kind of look over at her and go, "Boy, it's been a while since I've seen one of those." And they'll go up and start looking around her, and it turns into pretty soon. Oh, really? On Sundays? Might have to come out that way then. But then they start kind of gathering around her, and then they're like, wait a minute, this car is still daily driven. This car, does this and it does this. And then immediately the love really grows. And I have stories where I took anytime I take Spirit to a car show, there's always that one person that comes up and says, I had one of these. There's a lot of that actually. I used to have one of these. And the moment you let them sit behind the wheel, a lot of them usually come out tears in their eyes. And I'm like, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, it just took me back a ways. I don't know what it is about that old car, but I just started remembering what it was like being young again. And you can't, nobody can put their finger on it. They don't know what it is, but something about old Spirit just takes them back to when they were younger. And it's really neat to watch that happen. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. You know, just one of those things. Good old Spirit doing what she does, you know. So again, if you like them old cars, we're going to be getting back to it pretty soon. Now, again, we are working on a series specifically, again, no pun intended, geared for ladies that'll kick off this next year. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a video that's going to be coming up, an actual video, not just live stream where I'm sitting here chit chatting and walking you guys through it. We're going to actually go into a little bit of detail on that series that which I got to start sitting down and working on. The other thing that we're going to be doing is the series In Your Face will be replaced with something totally different. We're also going to start pushing a series called Urban Survival. Of course, Surviving Romance. There's not going to be a whole lot of change there. And of course, Off the Chain will continue on as it has been. Yes, you know how to get a hold of me. Just shoot me the information. You know how to get a hold of me. I'm not that hard to get a hold of. You really want to find me, I'm not that hard. We're, that's just one of those things. Along with that, I know many of you want to see the Cinnamon live stream this Saturday, but the Cinnamon Live has been canceled for Saturday. Cinnamon is being shelved for for this week. Next week Saturday she will be back. Hey, what's going on, Papa Kronos? You missed it earlier. Project Spirit running. She was Project Spirit is home. She is home. For those that do not know, Project Spirit is my 1975 Ford Maverick four-door sedan. She just got back from the shop. We just had her manual transmission swapped out for an automatic. It'll make it a little bit easier for daily driving. Just one of those things. Well, we'll make it a little easier for you. If you don't know who Project Spirit is, hang on, Papa Kronos. You're going to love this. Booyah! That is Project Spirit. I'll wait for you to like, oh, you just instantly, I think, fell in love with the old girl because I don't know what it is. She just attracts a lot of attention. Oh yeah. There is about yeah, you did. There's a video on my channel right now that you can watch because that car just turned 46 this month. That is a 46-year-old car still rocking and rolling. Her original inline six coming up on 300,000 all original miles is still going strong. This is not a joke. You can't make this up. Yeah. With the manual transmission, I don't know what it's going to be with the automatic, but with the manual transmission, I averaged 40 miles to the gallon on the highway. We've had to do a lot of work to her. You should have seen her when we first got her. When we first got her, I had nothing but problems out of that old car. Nothing but. Um, we got her, drove her home, had a lot of problems getting her home, but we drove her home. When we got her home, it took me 1 month to get her up and running and drivable, and pass inspection and everything else. And since that time, when she goes away for a while, it does affect the channel because that is the true star of the Prince Magnum channel. Let me say it right now. I'll say it again. Project Spirit. Project Spirit, when it comes to her, the Prince Magnum channel is the house that Project Spirit built. The over 1,000 subscribers, that mainly is because of the fact that Project Spirit is doing exactly what she was meant to do all these years, and people pay attention to that. Ironically enough, more and more. Right, you were following in behind her, and but when we got her home, it didn't take super long. Um, but yeah, the Prince Magnum channel is the house that Project Spirit built. Um, and let me say right now, that old car turns a lot of heads still. You wouldn't, I mean, she's dinged up. She's got a lot of body work that still needs to be done. We did do the taillight panel earlier this year. Project Spirit had to stay home that day, and I took the wife's car to work, which was really funny. When I took that car to work, everyone's like, okay, where's Spirit at? Customers at my restaurant that I work at was asking, all right, where's Spirit? She's at home getting, we're getting ready to do some really cool stuff to her taillight panel. Oh, really? What are you doing? I said, oh, you'll see. We blacked it out like they did the Maverick Grabbers back in the 70s. And when we took it back to, when I took it back to work, they're like, oh, wow, that just changed the attitude of that car. Yeah, it did. Right. Well, yeah, you thought I lost my mind. I said, no, trust me. I got a good feeling. And here she is now, still rocking and rolling all this time later. Now, again, I will say that when it comes to the automatic, the performance is just not there like it used to be. But I imagine if I got her out on the highway, obviously not in the weather we've had, but if I got her out on the highway and really opened her up, she'd probably scare the hell out of everybody, including me. Because now that final drive with that automatic, I imagine she'll top out pretty close to 140. And she already topped out about 130. So I got a funny feeling that I'm in for a ride. That old car's got it where it counts. She will just, I mean, that's still, after all this time, that car's still got it. Still got it. I can't get over it. I mean, it's like that old car still got it. That six cylinder is amazing. And unfortunately, right. For those that don't know, Joanna, I've known her for a grand total of, actually, we first met all the way back in high school. She actually remembers when I was with my high school sweetheart that I went on to have two kids with. That's how long we've known each other. Um, and I'm an old man now. But yeah, that old car, everyone's like, I don't know, man. And then, when I started driving it to work, everyone's like, that's a pretty neat looking old car. When I cleaned up the wheels, all right, okay, that's a cool car, man. That is a really cool car. And I know, dear, I know. A lot older than I used to be, that's for sure. But, I still, I'll be honest with you, I'm already missing the stick shift. but I'm happy it's over with. I'm happy she's home. Yeah, you got grandkids already. Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore, where you could swap stuff out like that, just one of them things. But that's kind of where we sit right now. Um, so now it's Project Lena's turn to start seeing the shop. Once we get new tags on Spirit, so it'll be Project Lena's turn where she starts going in and out of the shop, getting stuff replaced on her, and expect by the new year that Project Spirit, we're going to start looking at doing a V8 swap, but it's not just going to be yank the old 6-cylinder out, drop a new one in. We actually have to do some work, some serious work in between that time. Expect a video on that. We're going to have to go through that, and I'm going to have to actually walk you from bumper to bumper on the old girl on how that's going to have to happen before we just go dropping any old V8 in there. You can't just do that with a car like that, because you all know me. Y'all know well enough that I'm not just going to drop any old V8 in there. It's going to have to be built right, and it's going to have to be a ground up build for that engine, which means that if it's going to be a ground up build, it's going to have to be, it's going to be, take some money. Hey, what's going on, Gigi? Miss Gina here in the live stream. Gina, she's home. Project Spirit's back. And she's back with as an automatic powered car now. You know what? Let's go down again. Let's take a walk around the old girl. Since Gina's here, I know y'all will love to, spend a few minutes with the old girl. I'm scared of the dark. Somebody holding me. There we go. Ah! All right. I'll take you down to Project Spirit. I know you've seen some of the video, but live, here is Project Spirit. The pinstriping on her hood, my wife actually did that. She also did the pinstriping down the side. I still take my wife out on dates in this car. Here is the new automatic selector. The automatic selector is out of a 1965 Ford Mustang. Give me a second, and I'll get ready to start her up. Okay, as best as I could show you guys. This steering wheel's locked. Turn the old ignition switch to the on position. That unlocks the steering wheel. But that does not start the car. Turn that to the on position. Power is on. Reach over here, push the button. Give her a few moments for the oil to circulate to the top. Papa Kronos, I know you're still in the live. Here we go. Sounds of the 70s from the Prince Magnum channel. That is an old inline six from 1975. All right. Watch whenever I put her in gear. You can just hear that rumble. Just that wonderful sound of them old six cylinders whenever they've got a good solid exhaust on them. One more time. And to shut her off, that's it. Now for the most annoying sound in the world. Literally the most annoying sound ever. That's it. That's how you kill that. You just remove the key. Oh my goodness. What do you guys think? Not exactly the same old car that I started with. Oh, and the taillight panel that I was talking about earlier, we blacked that out earlier this year, just like they did on the Maverick Grabbers. Just like that. What do you think? Not bad for an old car. Like that rumble? So what do y'all think? Come on, let me see them comments fly. A lot of you that probably want an old car now. Show you guys. Working on them is so much fun. Oh, really? Ron, if you're in the background, I know you miss seeing that old car. Now, Megan from Just Megan and Rodney, she when she's seen video footage of Spirit cruising down the road from the dash cam, she's like, it's like I'm riding along in the car. I said, that's the point. That's why I do these videos like that. So we're gonna get to see more of that again. You want an old car now? Yeah, that's the old six cylinder, the one that came with the car. When she left the factory, the six cylinder that came in that car, that's it. The original one, never been rebuilt. It's been went through. The original family had pulled the engine apart. Pulled the engine apart, but they deemed that it was okay and just put it back together. Original engine, still going. I know you are, honey. um, so I mean, that's just it. That car it continues to do what it's supposed to do, which is just take you to and from work with a little bit of style and class. That's it. That's what it was meant to do. It was supposed to be a good little car that got you to and from, and it does that. But it's been doing it now in some way, shape, or form. It's been at it for 46 years. We'll have to repost the link and everything, so everyone can get a good look at it. But yeah, car's still going strong after all these years. And I enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy driving an old car. Nothing wrong with new ones. If you like new ones, fine. That's fine. But there's something simple about them that I enjoy. The one for the Happy Birthday Project Spirit. That's the one. That really took me back. That took me back in time. Oh my goodness, that took me back in time. In a good way. I forget, it was probably about 2-3 weeks ago, babe. There's one where Spirit was, it'll literally just say, do-it-yourself budget hot rodding, happy birthday Project Spirit. Well, happy 46th birthday Project Spirit. My car's almost 50 years old. Dang, that's half a century. She's almost half a century old. Not many people could say they've got a car that's still daily driven. There's the link. Yep. And that's Project Spirit doing exactly, what she does, She a good little car. I enjoy driving her. We knew what you meant. Frickin' autocorrect. But Project Spirit has been at it for a good while. And I know a lot of people get a kick out of it. But anyhow, we're getting to that stage where, like I said, from here, it's going to be Project Lena's turn, in and out of the shop, getting squared away. Just one of them things. So, yeah, Princess Faye's considering being a refugee on Twitch. I don't usually have too much to do with Jefferson City for obvious reasons, but anyhow, don't get me started. So that does bring us to a good stopping point for the evening. Glad y'all got to come in and see old Spirit still rocking and rolling. She's still at it after all these years, doing what she's meant to do. I definitely suggest if you haven't had a chance, take a look at that link. You'll love it. Project Spirit still rocking and rolling after all this time, doing what she does best, which is just being a fun little car and taking you to and from work and just all the things that cars were meant to be, So, as usual, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is, just do something with yourself. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet, do something special for them today. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.